What's up, guys? It's Wolverine, Death Machine, Mr. GMSI himself, Brian Cage, and you're watching True Hill Heat. Who better? Nobody. This is the knockout artist, Chris Hero, and if you're looking for some true heel heat, you better listen to the boys.
Alright, this is Danhausen here, very nice, very evil. You are watching True Heel Heat. Probably should have had MJF do this, but here we are.
Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Hill Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for ROH Death Before Dishonor 2024 preview. And no, don't adjust your screen. This is not the Fightful ROH TV show. This is our ROH Death Before Dishonor 2024 preview on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. I am just joined by one of my favorite people to do a show with, especially when it comes to the honor of a ring. It is the one and only co-host of Sour Grabs, my co-host on Thursday nights. You can see her on Friday nights and every night, the professional podcast extraordinaire. Hey, how are you doing?
You're giving me a run for my money this past week on how many shows you're doing, but I'm doing well. I always love talking about ROH. Really love talking about it with you. We stole you over on the Fightful side. Happy to reverse the invasion angle. I'm coming over to True Heel Heat to talk some DVD and SB3. I'm surprised we're doing this because we only have like half a card, but we're gonna make it work.
No, but I looked it up earlier today because I was like, all right, I got to get all these thumbnails. And then Tony Khan, I guess like last night at like midnight, your time, midnight Eastern, announced another match, which we legitimately called. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Tony Khan done hit her up, was like, you can't be disrespecting the ROH Death Before Dishonor card, and got her the hell up out of here. But she'll be back. Don't worry. I'm sure she will be back. But yes, Tony Khan done announced another matchup, which me and Kate called that he would do in the middle of the week. He would announce another match for Death Before Dishonor because he legitimately already set it up a couple of weeks ago. We just haven't got a follow-up for it since then, but we're here to discuss ROH Death Before Dishonor 2024. She said she's logging back. She's logging back, folks. Don't worry. Don't worry. I know you guys don't want to see me here. I already did one stream this week where I was all alone. I will not be doing this one as well. But we appreciate y'all for joining us live. We appreciate y'all for watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back the simplest way possible. Just drop the thumbs up on this video. You can share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. Of course, if you're watching us on Facebook, you could drop a thumbs up, a heart emoji, an angry emoji, a laughing emoji. However, ROH Death Before Dishonor 2024 is making you feel. You can let us know with one of those emotes. We always appreciate that. It helps us out so much, and it helps other folks like yourself, other professional wrestling fans. Check out this True Hill Heat content where we do pay-per-view previews and reviews for all the major shows, whether it be WWE, AEW, NJPW, TNA, and even Ring of Honor. I'm not sure yet if we'll do a Death Before Dishonor review because I will be over on the Fightful main channel following Death Before Dishonor this coming Friday to review that show. So I don't know if we'll double dip and I have to do it here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, even though, like Kate was trying to say earlier, I was on the Collision post show on Saturday with Rick Ucchino on the Fightful main channel, and then had to give you Collision Discourse here on this channel. So maybe I might double dip. We don't have any content planned out for Friday or Saturday this week because the True Hill Heat flagship podcast is moving to Sunday, 11:05 a.m. Eastern time. So you can go over there and check that out. But yes, this one is for the sickos. It's for the sickos. ROH Death Before Dishonor 2024. I am choosing honor before death. Honor over death. Honor over death. I want all the fans in Arlington to be cheering that. It's honor over death. Death before dishonor. But I'm trying to bide some time as Kate gets back on here. StreamYard was like, we don't recognize you over on this channel. We're used to you always on the Fightful channel, so we're going to give you a hard time with logging on here. But don't worry, Kate will be back. I see ALW already in the chat giving me a hard time saying, save us, Kate. We already had to deal with just him for the TNA Slammiversary review. Can't do this again. I could preview this show if I wanted to on my own, but I have much more fun talking about Ring of Honor with Kate. Plus, Kate is always popping for my list on Thursdays. It's Friday in my time here in the UK because I'm 5 hours ahead. But on Thursday nights on the Ring of Honor post show over on Fightful, I'm always dropping my list of classic Ring of Honor, whether it be like last week, I did a top 5 best Roderick Strong ROH matches. In the past, I've done the Hall of Fame, the class of 2024 Hall of Fame for Ring of Honor. I've done, what else have I done? I've done top 5 Nigel McGuinness matches. I've done top 10 greatest Ring of Honor champions. So I've done plenty of Ring of Honor lists. So I can give y'all a list right off the top of the dome to kill time until Kate's back. But I will highlight your comments instead. Thank you for joining us. Matt in the chat, Matt Reigel, who says, this preview is for the sickos. Ring of Honor is for us sickos who want to believe that Ring of Honor will still be here and that Ring of Honor is not Tony Khan's version of WWECW. No comment. We got Hassan in the chat who says, hi there, guys. How's it going, Hassan? We also got Greg in the chat who says, top 5 Will Ferreira matches. Now you're really trying to go for the sickos. Take your time. I'm going to tell her, take your time. It's all right. StreamYard's a bitch sometimes. Now StreamYard's going to kick me off. I'm telling StreamYard is a bitch sometimes, but I just messaged Kate back, and I think she's almost ready in the back end here. Give me a thumbs up whenever you're ready, Kate. We got Craig laughing in the background. I was literally just telling the people, I told you that StreamYard is a bitch sometimes. So
it is. Normally it's my internet, but this time was actually StreamYard, I think. So it's weird W for my internet, but we'll take it. Sorry about that. Let's talk some ROH. Let me scoot closer. Can you hear me at least? Are we good?
Yes, you're good.
We're gonna get
it
done, man. We're gonna get it done.
This is why Kate doesn't run from the grind, ladies and gentlemen. She's here for the grind.
Will Ospreay could never keep my podcast schedule, so.
No, but I was getting people in the chat. Greg is giving me cruel and unusual punishment, telling me that I should come with a top 5 Will Ferreira matches. So
thank God I'm back. What would have happened? Oh no.
He was trying to put me on the spot. I said, I'll give y'all a list off the top of my dome until Kate comes, and then he came up with that, and I was like, hope Kate comes soon.
I hope she's back. I hope she's back in a minute. My God.
But yes, you were saying that we don't have all the card yet. We have 5 official matches for the card. I checked on Wikipedia this morning, and there's 2 other matches that apparently will probably be confirmed on this week's Ring of Honor television because it's Tony Khan, and he loves to add other matches on the final show one day before the actual pay-per-view.
Sometimes day of, to be honest. So
it's not going to be 7 matches. It's not going to be the 7 matches that it's probably going to be like 10.
Of course.
By the time we get to bell time. Yes. But this is a crucial question for you, Kate. What have you thought about the build to this Friday show in Arlington, Texas, Death Before Dishonor 2024?
I mean, we've talked about it kind of ad nauseum at this point on Fightful, but it remains persistent that like the women's side has had some really good stuff and the men's side has just been blank. I'm hoping that we see some surprises here. They've obviously signed MXM. They seem heavily teased for the tag picture. I'm hoping maybe we get some free agents that might show up, maybe do some extra work, maybe some returns from where's Willie Mack? Where are those guys? Where's that group? Like, I would like to see some more of that. And I'm hoping that these stationary tapings lead us into a little bit cleaner of an era. But so as far as the build goes, it feels like the women's picture has been very clear for a while, and the men's, there's just not a lot of men's singles wrestlers that feel like they've had an appropriate build into any title picture, which is why we're getting what we're getting in our championship scene for sure. Because it's like Lee Johnson and nobody else. So.
And I don't even think Lee Johnson is on this card, which is a shame because he delivered probably the best match of his career in the lead up to this show just a month ago with Kyle Fletcher, and he doesn't even get a scheduled match on the card as of now.
No, and it was so weird because it felt like we were leading to a Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe feud for that main title, and then we ended up getting Kyle Fletcher dropping Ted Landis Jr. for a rematch, and Roddy Strong shoehorned into this, which has been a hallmark of these kind of ROH under the AEW pay-per-view umbrella, is like, we send a main roster star last minute to show out, and it deflates the build a little bit, but I am excited because the pay-per-views always end up delivering from an in-ring perspective. So looking forward to that for sure.
So with that in mind, how we always start off these pay-per-view previews, 0 to 10, what is your hype level for this Friday show?
I feel like probably between like a 7 and an 8. I'm hoping that they kind of kick that up because I'm not someone with ROH that takes a lot to get to a 10 because I love this brand. So I feel like the pay-per-views, the build probably has to be closer to a 6, but just the trust and knowing what they do with these pay-per-views probably has to be closer to an 8 of like the preemptive excitement of knowing that I'm going to get some really, really badass matches out of this. And I am hopeful that there'll be surprises. I really hope that we get some shake up here because that Warner Brothers deal is coming down the mountain. We certainly have reports that ROH is going to have a renewed focus. Now would be a good time to kick that off. So more excited than they've built to is probably where I'm sitting right now.
Yeah, I was making the reference that I've seen more and more people say that Tony Khan, the ROH era under Tony Khan is feeling more and more like WWECW. But then when you go to like the pay-per-views, it's like an NXT takeover. It's very weird. It's very bipolar. Like they step up when it's the pay-per-view time, it seems.
It's basically Athena's leg. Like sometimes it's totally fine, and then other times it's like limping into stuff. It's tough. It's tough.
See the camera, it falls down, like it's like, oh damn, it's all
exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm at a 6.5, 7. I'm between that because, like you said, the pay-per-views always delivered, but the build, I just want them to care about the build. And thankful for Sean doing that report on ROH. It gives you a little optimism that coming up with these tapings that are in Arlington, that we're going to see a more renewed focus. Love the set and the setup for how it looked on Collision. So we're going to see the first taping from Arlington this tomorrow on tomorrow's ROH TV on Honor Club. And we're going to see how it's going to look for Death Before Dishonor. So hopefully they can get a good house and sell some tickets for the show as well. But Speaking of which, with the announcement of some matches for tomorrow night's show, it segues into what the matches are going to be for Death Before Dishonor. And for anyone who doesn't want to be spoiled, I would say pause it right now. And now I'm going to spoil something. All right, so tomorrow night on ROH TV on Honor Club. Oh, we got our first run in. I'm sorry. Here we go.
Oh,
Say hi. Say hi to Kate.
Hello. Who do you
like
think's
your
gonna
dress?
win?
She just told you to look at her dress. I don't know why.
Oh,
but
what a beautiful dress!
She said,
I need
"Look
a
at my
full.
dress."
We got maximum male models on this card. I want to see like a runway strut of this pretty dress.
Don't tempt her because she legitimately did a costume change when I was with Jeremy on Mondays in the weeks. She came in with one outfit, then before she went to the park, she came in with her second outfit. It was very cool.
Amazing.
Very cool.
Love that for her.
But yes, we're going to talk about a match that's on Thursdays, Ring of Honor TV on Honor Club, that is going to transition into what we're going to see at Death Before Dishonor, as you have ROH World Television Champion Atlantis Jr. and Lio Rush going up against Johnny TV and Shane Taylor. Shane Taylor, of course, being a former Ring of Honor television champion. Lio Rush, a former stalwart of Ring of Honor when he was coming up in the business. And of course, Johnny TV, someone who's been a regular on Ring of Honor as of late. But that is going to segue into what's going to happen at Death Before Dishonor, as apparently it's going to lead to a 5-way matchup of Atlantis Jr. defending the Ring of Honor Television Championship against the 3 other participants in this match, as well as former Ring of Honor World Television Champion Kyle Fletcher. So, what do you think about all of this coming together? Do you think that they should have just done Atlantis Jr. versus Kyle Fletcher because it kind of just writes itself? Kyle Fletcher kind of set it up after he lost the Ring of Honor Television Championship in CMLL? Or do you enjoy the fact that we got more competitors like Lio Rush, who's making his return to AEW and ROH after getting hurt in the ladder match at Forbidden Door, Shane Taylor, who we've been big on, and Johnny TV? Okay, relax. She's not going to make this easy for me. What do you think, Kate, about this ROH TV title scene?
Like she's got nothing on StreamYard as far as making this difficult. But I'm never gonna complain when I get to see Lio Rush in the ring. But if they don't set up anything else out of this, I think it's gonna be kind of one of those things that we complain about as feeling superfluous. And I'm good for a 5-man without a real story in it, but not when it's for the TV title. Like, that should be something that is more properly built to. So my gut instinct off the top says I would have just preferred a rematch with Kyle Fletcher. My wait and see brain is kicked in a little bit, and I'm loving that Lio Rush is back around. He's such a phenom. I love seeing him in the ring. So not like bummed about it, but it's kind of for me like what are we actually gonna get out of it? Are we gonna get anything as cool as this pretty beautiful dress that we're getting here? Because if it's not as pretty as that dress, like what are we doing? Like why am I even bothering?
Ryan, you're forcing yourself. Tell them to send a super chat. It'll make you feel better.
You got to send in a $5 super chat or higher to make SG3's family happy. You got to keep food on the table. All right.
Harlem's crying because we haven't got any super chats yet. But I do agree with you, though. I would have preferred Atlantis Jr. versus Kyle Fletcher because the story is kind of already there. They could have announced it was his automatic rematch. I don't understand how someone like Johnny TV is in this, or Lio Rush, who's making his return to Ring of Honor, which sometimes they do that. Someone makes their return to Ring of Honor and they get in the title picture. And the fact that Shane Taylor did a whole promo on last week's Ring of Honor challenging the world champion, and now he's going for the television championship. That doesn't make any sense to me.
No, this is where it gets frustrating because you realize it's a lack of care. Like, it's sometimes when I watch NXT, there's stuff that I'm like, that is bad creative, but you can tell it was planned out bad creative. This just feels like they don't care until it's the week before the pay-per-view, and that drives me absolutely bonkers. We saw it just like in general, I feel like with the AEW women's division. When they put attention on things, the quality of them skyrockets. So let's do that with ROH, especially in our title pictures, my goodness. But I'm sure the match will be fantastic, and then they'll say, what are you complaining about?
Exactly. But I'm gonna go with I think that Atlantis Jr. should retain the championship in this match. What about you?
I agree. I'd be tempted to say that it goes back on Kyle Fletcher, but I think he's just doing too much on the AEW main roster that he should be kind of graduated from what's going on here. So I'm going to say that Atlantis retains and drops to somebody that maybe is going to be a little bit more of a pillar. But I've loved what I've seen out of Atlantis Jr. so far. So no complaints from me on that.
Yeah, got a pretty looking a high fly flow frog splash. So yeah, that's why I'm going with Atlantis Jr. Atlantis Jr. here. Next up, we have another match on Ring of Honor TV that is supposedly going to parlay into a matchup at Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor, as it's going to be tomorrow night on ROH TV on Honor Club. It's going to be the Dark Order's Alex Reynolds and John Silver teaming up to face the returning Ross and Marshall Von Erich, the former MLW World Tag Team Champions. They will have Kevin Von Erich, their father, in their corner, and they will be you'll have Evil Uno in the corner of the Dark Order, and apparently that is going to segue into Dustin Rhodes teaming up with the Von Erichs to face the Dark Order at Death Before Dishonor. I'm all for Dark Order being back on this card after last year. Their fight without honor against the Righteous was a lot of fun. And Stu Grayson, what the hell happened to Stu Grayson? But you know, I guess he got released again. But that was a fun rivalry that they built up nicely to last year, Death Before Dishonor. This one feels a little bit thrown together, but it's understandable with the Von Erichs really here for the Arlington stretch, the residency that AEW and ROH is having in Arlington. So I understand that fact. But what do you think about this match being on the card potentially for Friday night? And who do you think wins?
This is just the most thrown together things that could possibly be. And to be honest, like Silver and Reynolds deserve better than that. They really do. Like they've done their job really well. They're a fun tag team to watch. I'm gonna go with. It's so hard because there's not even really like a heel and a face. You assume the Von Erichs are going to be faces just because they're so over the town. I'm going to go with them simply because this match doesn't mean anything, so you might as well pop the hometown crowd. But I wouldn't be surprised if it went the Dark Order's way. This is part of the frustration, is that this tag division is just in kind of a constant state of disrepair. I think there's going to be some renewed focus on that based on the free agents that they're bringing in. I think that might be the bigger story, is maybe this is where Eminem shows up, but we will see, because I don't know if they go right for the title picture. We'll find out.
Yeah, I'm thinking that they probably maybe will get a promo on Ring of Honor TV this week from the Undisputed Kingdom, and they make like an open challenge to anyone at Death Before Dishonor, and then maybe that's the setup. Because you know me, over on our Fightful post show, I've been saying that I think they should just come in and beat Taven and Bennett to kind of revive this tag team division. And they're going to need some reviving for the tag team division, because another bit of news that we got to discuss here, we'll discuss it more in depth probably tomorrow, is that we have seen the death of the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team titles with the whole stripping of the Bang Bang Gang by Christopher Daniels. Check out our review from last week where I think I got a brain aneurysm and people in the chat thought I was going to have a heart attack because that horrible decision to strip the Bang Bang Gang of the tag team titles. But it seems that we have totally defunct the ROH 6-man tag team titles because the patriarchy beat the Bang Bang Gang to become the new trios champions. But when you check AEW's website or ROH website, you have the patriarchy as the trios champions, but there's no ROH 6-man tag team titles anywhere being basically recognized anymore. What do you think, Kate?
I think AEW has a huge issue to address with how they treat titles when they are merged and how they treat titles when somebody is injured consistently. We have seen them go from, we do interim titles, no we don't. They can freebird them, no they can't. Like MJF defended the tag titles alone for how long? That was absolutely ridiculous. So that is maddening to me because all I ask for is consistency with whatever you try to do. I was a bigger fan of the interim title thing than a lot of people were. Like, I actually thought that was a decent way to go about things because that's what you do in like a UFC situation or whatever. Like, I was in on that. But it drives me absolutely crazy that like the Continental title was 3 titles or it's 1 title. It's you defend them all at once or you defend them separately. Like, it feels like the playbook changes every single time on that. So devastating if that's true, because I thought they had a much prouder lineage than the AEW ones did for sure. But they also hadn't been around Ring of Honor, so I was kind of used to it. The thing that sucks about that is there's some really great factions that could benefit from that. Shane Taylor promotion. When we had Dalton and the boys, for example, I would love to see the Dark Order with a Ring of Honor 6-man run. Like, I think that could be super, super fun. Lance Archer and the Righteous. So if we have all these trios going around, why aren't we, what are they competing for? Like, I just don't get what that is. So that's a bummer. Also just a bummer that people keep getting injured in that picture, because it sounds like Killswitch might have gotten injured too. Waiting for more on that.
Yeah.
But that's rough. That's really rough.
It's like the AEW the Jinxed Trios Championships, because I mean, I kind of went over the history of the Trios Championships with the original champions getting suspended mere hours after winning them. It's been Jinxed for a long time, and it seems like the Jinx has even spread it off to the ROH 6-man titles, but it didn't get them sick. It literally killed them.
It's a powerful Jinx. It's a powerful Jinx. It's spread.
It's spread. We got Frantic World says it's sad to see the ROH 6-man titles gone. We also got Call Me Mr. Banda. Thank you for joining us again. He says Kyle Fletcher regains. I'd love to see Leo Rush as ROH World Television Champion, though I agree with that. I would love in general seeing Leo Rush back on Ring of Honor. That would take me back to like 2013 when I thought he looked like a rapper with his little blonde crew cut that he had. Yeah, it was nice.
Inspired fashion choices with Leo Rush always. I would love to see him holding some sort of gold. Again, you wanted like an ROH 6-man, Top Flight and Leo Rush was right there. Like, you could have done something with that, but it is a bummer.
Uh-oh. Did Kate get a call? Oh, okay. There you go.
Am I here? It is a bummer that we have so many trios going around if we don't have 6-man titles anymore, but Leo Rush is just a fantastic talent. He seems more settled in the past couple years than he has before. I'm not here for the corny injury jokes. This guy is an absolute phenom. Wrestling is really, really, really hard. I think more people are tempted to retire every day than people probably give credit to. So the more Leo Rush have my screen, the better. The more him doing something with some impact. Impact, not like TNA impact, like the word impact. The better. So
that's a very loose word in the wrestling business now.
It is.
But it is time for me and Kate to brag, because on last week's ROH Fightful post show, we talked about how much fun we had watching the main event of last week's show. And the only nitpick that we had of that main event is that it should have been on the ROH Death Before Dishonor card. And Tony Khan watches our post show, because it was announced this week a Texas death match this Friday at ROH Death Before Dishonor. It will be Diamante going one-on-one with legit Layla Hirsch. These two ladies have been feuding for quite some time. Layla Hirsch had a 3-match winning streak against Diamante prior to last week's ROH TV on Honor Club, where Diamante defeated Layla Hirsch in a lights-out matchup with a crazy-looking Avalanche Code Red through a table, and they will bring it yet again, this time in a Texas death match. I'm a little bit worried at the same time that I'm happy that we were right, but I'm a little bit worried on what these ladies are going to be willing to do to outdo the lights out matchup that they had. Because you had Layla Hirsch, who's had her history of knee injuries, doing moonsaults off the top rope to the floor through a table. You had Diamante with the code red through the table. What are they going to do in a Texas death match this time on pay-per-view in front of what was a hot crowd on last Saturday's AEW Collision for the action there? I'm sure they're going to be hot for ROH Death Before Dishonor. Kate, what do you think about this match? And of course, give you time to brag that we made this happen. We booked this.
We did book this. We are powerful manifestors. That is my white girl obligation to say. I'll give you more credit though, because you were the one to bring it up first too. Of why wasn't this on the show? It did feel like it should have been. I don't know if a Texas death match is that much bigger of a blow off than a no DQ match, but we also saw, unfortunately, Dalton Castle went down with an injury. So I'm wondering if this got slotted in. They were probably like, what do we do now that Dalton Castle's gone? Let's listen to Kate and SP3 on the post show and see if they have any. Oh my goodness, they have the perfect idea. So you're welcome. You're so welcome for all of that. We are so important. But I'm very, very excited about this. I feel like Layla Hirsch breaking out of her comfort zone in a match like this was something that's really fun to see. We saw her roll onto those tacks in her regular gear. Oh man, that was a nasty, nasty spot. So what I'm expecting from this match is for her to be in jeans, because I don't think she wants to take that spot again. But I do feel like these two have really great in-ring chemistry. I don't know who gets, because this doesn't feel like a trilogy, so I'm intrigued to see where it goes. But I'm going to say Layla gets the better of Diamante just because of what we saw from last time. But I think this is going to be outstanding. I think it's going to offer something different on the card than anything else, which I feel like is something that when you're putting together a pay-per-view is important to have stuff that makes things not feel so solid. So very much looking forward to what these ladies bring to the table, because we're going to show out.
Yeah, I really thinking that if this was the plan, they would have had Layla Hirsch win the lights out match, because the whole story was about Diamante getting that first victory over Layla Hirsch, and we got that in the lights out matchup. So I'm gonna say that they continue that story of, if it's a regular match, Layla Hirsch has the advantage, she will win. But if it's a lights out matchup or a Texas death match, Diamante wins. So I'll pick Diamante in this one.
I like that pick and reasoning. Do you think that there's any outside forces that come into play? Like, do you think we see Mercedes Martinez come back or anything like that?
I would love that. I would actually love that. I would love for Rachel Ellering to get back in here with her whole story with Layla Hirsch that kind of got dropped after the ROH Women's TV title tournament. I would love for that to come back, and then maybe we get an even bigger blow off between all four ladies with Mercedes Martinez and Diamante versus Layla Hirsch and Rachel Ellering. I would love that. That's a great idea.
Well, we booked this, so hopefully we book that too. You know what I mean?
Manifesting. We'll also repeat this on the ROH post show, just in case Tony is not subscribed to True Hill Heat. He is subscribed when we do AE Ramble, because he stole a couple of ideas from me and Jimmy, but I don't know if he'll watch this. So
we'll make sure we'll do our affirmations on Fightful. We'll just keep it. We'll keep it going.
We do have a good question here from Meet Normus. He says, which belts or division has it worse, AEW trios or WWE women's tag? Because the WWE women's tag team titles has been around longer, I will go with them.
Yeah, that's probably the best. And when we talk about nonsensical booking, I feel like the trios titles there was some bad booking in that. Like, I felt like the Acclaimed overstayed its welcome with the trios titles and things like that. In WWE, it's give me a feud that doesn't end in a breakup challenge or you won in your home country out of nowhere. Like, it's the same tropes over and over again. So I feel like I would rather, it's like bad creative on both sides, but bad and predictable versus bad and less predictable. So I'll take bad and less predictable, but both of them have a hex on them for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Both titles have an X for sure. We also got Call Me Mr. Banda, who says, Kate, I feel like they did the ROH six-man tag team titles the same way they did the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. It makes me and Alex Pulowski mad.
Well, the frustrating thing with that too is when they took the women's tag titles, because they were not booked brilliantly either, but I don't like the booking on NXT overall. One thing NXT is very good at is women's representation and screen time. So when they took those away, and now we have a mid card title, which is cool. But I was like, well, hopefully these tag titles will float across all three brands because there were still some tag teams in NXT on the women's side, and they haven't at all. They haven't at all. So that kind of sucks because I like a lot of the talent on NXT. My issues are rarely with talent, but they are with booking. And for such a loaded women's roster, getting more loaded to not have access to the tag titles, it's very frustrating. Especially when they have Cody Rhodes come back and cry about Dusty Rhodes like every Dusty Cup now. Like it's just every time he's in NXT, that's what he does. He makes an announcement, talks about his dad, and it's very emotional. So it's very frustrating when they tell you that the Dusty Cup means so much, and then they remove the belts associated with the Dusty Cup. It makes no sense. So yeah, that's an annoying one. That's an annoying one, and yeah, me and Alex complain every Tuesday.
But this is why I'm gonna give you and Alex credit, because I talked about this on In the Weeds on Monday, that we as fans, we as podcasters, as people analyzing the show, we have to speak up. If something is bothering us, we have to speak up, because I feel like that's the only way these bookers will make a change, is if we speak up enough, if we're saying something enough. And look, Kate has manifested something else where the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships are going to be back on the show next week on
There
NXT
you
at the Great American
go.
Bash. There you go.
There you go. And it is I would not do sour grapes with Alex if every single criticism wasn't based in something to do with creative. Like, we're never ragging on the talent. We're never complaining for the sake of complaining, for the most part. There's silly stuff that we do, but like, it is genuinely creative criticism 90% of the time. And it just feels like Shawn Michaels, while great at many things in professional wrestling, ain't great at booking. So that's where the complaints come from. But yeah, I'm excited to see those women's tag titles come back around for no other reason than I really like Alba Fire and Isla Dawn and would like to see them wrestle. So kind of like on the ROH side, we had this really cool tournament, and then we got a couple less women's matches an episode. Let's beef those back up. I want to see more. I want to see more of my ladies in action. So some good stuff there.
Speaking of which, Billie Starkz, our inaugural women's TV champion who won the tournament all the way back in April at Supercard of Honor, she will finally defend the championship for the first time 3 months later, as she will defend against Red Velvet. But those criticisms aside, this has been a well-built feud. You've had the issues going on with MIT and the combination of Red Velvet and Queen Aminata stemming off from Supercard of Honor, where Billie Starkz turned heel by faking an injury against Queen Aminata to become the inaugural ROH Women's TV Champion. It was Red Velvet, who was also involved in the tournament, that took issue with that. She's had confrontations and brawls with Billie Starkz in the past couple of weeks, but it all comes to a head this Friday, Death Before Dishonor. What have you thought about the build to this matchup? The fact that this is Billie Stark's first defense in 3 months, and who do you think wins?
Well, before we dive into that, I take exception with your recap where you said that Athena faked an injury.
No, I said Billie Starkz faked an injury. I am not.
Okay,
oh no. Not Athena. Not Athena. No.
I misheard. I retract my criticism, because Lord knows that is a very, 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 very real injury that Athena is
Absolutely.
up against. This has been a well-built feud. You kind of ruined my bet. I was gonna sit here and try and count all the Billie Starkz defenses because there's just been so many of them, but I man, it's this is where ROH gets frustrating, but this is where the pay-per-views always come in handy, right? I think we're gonna get something really cool. This is the best that Red Velvet has looked, and the most consistent for sure. She's adapted a few things in her ring style, and I've really enjoyed this ROH run from her. So she's got that cool new finisher too, that reverse DDT. Oh, good stuff going on with Red Velvet. So I think Billie Starkz retains just because it feels like something needs to happen overall with MIT before Billie drops. And I think even if Athena were to drop to Queen Aminata, that's going to come into play in that TV title picture. You probably get Athena versus Billie at some point, things like that. So I'm going with a retention here, but I also think that Red Velvet's going to show out in a way that we haven't gotten to see yet. I'm really, really excited for it. She's really found her groove in ROH. So I'm feel like this is going to be a sleeper match. Like, I think this is going to be better than people are going to realize.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. I think that Billie retained, and I would really love it. And this is not me doing anti minion propaganda. I am not a propagandist, as Louisville says in the chat here. I just think it would be an interesting story if Athena eventually loses the Ring of Honor World Championship, but Billie still has the women's TV title, because something that I've complimented and praised about Billie is that she's really come into her own with her heel character. And I would love to see her getting cocky and feeling like she's the new leader of MIT because she has gold and Athena doesn't. I think it would be an interesting story to tell. Although I never want that to happen because Athena is our forever Ring of Honor Women's World Champion.
It is true. I was going to say, first you're a clam digger, now you're breaking up MIT, but I can't disagree that it would be really, really fun storytelling to do that. I really like that idea, and I think that's probably where we have to head at some point. I don't want them to bring Athena up to the main roster unless they have an incredibly clear plan for her. But also, realistically, our forever champ has to have other challenges in her purview, whether she's still champion or not, right? So I think that it would be really fun and interesting if all of a sudden the young phenom of Billie Starkz is the only one that is holding gold in MIT. And plus, Athena's been so injured that it just, if she loses, it wouldn't even be her fault, you know?
You're gonna make me get emotional over here.
I know, I'm sorry.
Um,
I'm sorry. We still have to talk about it tomorrow, too. It's like
I know,
every
I
day I
know.
just wake up sad.
I'll make up so sad. I hope that Tony Khan reconsiders his decision of making her compete on Friday. I don't know. I don't know if she can
I
handle
hope
that,
so.
but
Like those
we'll still talk
scoundrels at
about that.
Prestige too. It's ridiculous what our forever champ is going through.
So rude. But before we get into Athena's matchup, we got to talk about the newest matchup added to the ROH Death Before Dishonor card. Another thing that me and Kate manifested or predicted would happen. We said that this match would probably be made on the internet and not on Ring of Honor, despite them going to a time limit draw 3 weeks ago and them never having even a promo from either one of these guys in the interim in between. We said that they would probably just announce it in between the week before we even get to review our Fightful post show. And here we are. Last night at around midnight, Tony Khan announces Wheeler Yuta for the first time in 6 months will defend the Ring of Honor Trio Championship against Lee Moriarty. These guys had a very good matchup on the July 4th edition of ROH TV. The 10-minute time limit draw and the Proving Ground matchup. These guys have great chemistry from before they came to AEW and ROH on the independent scene. But you give them a pay-per-view stage, this could be another sleeper for match of the night. What do you think about this match being made? The fact that Wheeler Yuta was able to be injured with the Pure Championship and come back, and this is now like 2 months after he's been back. He's now defending it for the first time. This is like ridiculous. The time span in between title defenses between the last two titles that we talked about. But what do you think about that? And who do you think wins?
Because he got it because Shibata was injured and Shibata was back like 2 months earlier. That I can't. Consistency with what you're doing with injured champions is all I ask, man. Like, my God. But this, for someone who's a Tekker sicko like me, this could very well be my match of the night. I loved their time limit draw. I think Lee goes over here. If they're serious about a renewed creative effort, this will be the match that tells you that, because or Wheeler starts working ROH, but I really feel like Lee Moriarty with that title in Shane Taylor Promotions is a great call. I just hope that they build up a pure division again for him to defend it against, because God bless him. I love Josh Woods. He seems like he's at AEW right now, but there's not really anybody else that's doing that. So hopefully our pure division doesn't just like come around so that he can defend it against Evil Udo, and they'll set that up a week before the next pay-per-view. Hopefully we get something with some substance out of it, but this match should be great. These two are excellent. Wheeler's work in ROH in the pure division has been some of my favorites since he's been around. So, like, he knows how to use the rules to tell the story in such an interesting way, and it's never the same thing twice, and I love seeing him work these style matches. It feels like where he seems most at home. So, woo! That's how excited I am. My phone is dancing away about it. But I think Lee wins here, but I think this really could show out. Really could show out.
Yeah, I agree with you. I was really enjoying Willie Yuta kind of being this generation's Nigel McGuinness, how he was using the pure rules to cheat and get victories last year before Shibata beat him for the title. And then even the way he beat Shibata for the title, he didn't do it in the cleanest way possible. But like, I just want to see some type of consistency with the pure division. I agree with you. It could be one of the best divisions and a hallmark of Ring of Honor, and something to make it different from, AEW television or any other promotion or brand out there, but they just need to focus on it. So I also am going to agree with you on the prediction. I think that Lee Moriarty should be the guy to do it, because the three guys that Bryan Danielson pegged as his students in the Blackpool Combat Club 2 years ago, which we never got to pay off except for one with Willie Yuta. But the three guys were Willie Yuta, Daniel Garcia, and Lee Moriarty. Garcia and Yuta traded off the Pure Championship in 2022. I would love to see Lee get his chance with the Pure title here in 2024. So that's why I got him. And there is the possibility that Shane Taylor Promotions could walk out with 2 sets of titles, with the TV title and the Pure Championship. I wouldn't mind that. Even though I predicted Atlantis.
Wouldn't hate it. I don't think that's where we're going, but I would not be mad if like one of the big surprises that they wanted to show up with was all of a sudden Shane Taylor Promotions is walking out with double gold. Not mad about that at all, if they're going to be around and defending it.
Please, just be around. Just be around.
Just be on the show. That's all I ask.
Someone who is always on the show, someone we can always depend on, is our minion overlord, the fallen goddess, and the forever Ring of Honor Women's World Champion, Athena, 600-day plus, one of the greatest Ring of Honor champions of all time. She will defend against the upstart, the person who has been working her way up the ranks, up the ladder here in Ring of Honor on a winning streak ever since Supercard of Honor. It is Queen Aminata. Queen Aminata has basically laid out Athena on a few occasions. She has set her claim to get a shot at the Women's World Championship, and she wants to get a measure of revenge on MIT after Billie Starkz screwed her over in the Women's TV title final. Can she do it? Can Queen Aminata win her first gold and end one of the greatest title reigns in Ring of Honor history? What have you thought about the build up to this match the past 3 months? And should Athena even be wrestling? She's got an injured leg. What are we doing? Tony Khan? Do we really have to call the FBI on this guy?
We're gonna have to. It's upsetting that it's come to that, but I've been left no other choice. So, man, my head and my heart are saying two different things. My heart says Queen Aminata is absolutely made in this match if she goes over. And I think the story warrants it. And I think Queen Aminata has shown what an incredible talent she is and what a complete wrestler she is. So my heart says that, but my head says Athena retains, just because I don't see the follow-up for Queen Aminata. And To be honest, like I hate when this kind of stuff dictates booking, but until the ink is dried on that Warner Brothers deal, I don't see Queen Aminata or I don't see Athena dropping, because if ROH is a part of that package at all for content on Max, they have built this promotion around her, which is really cool. It's really cool that a badass female wrestler is the one carrying this entire promotion. And I have so many complaints about ROH, but this is not one that I have. This is something that's really cool about ROH. And unless they have already worked out the details about what ROH is going to be with Max, I just don't see them being like, we're going to take the woman we built this entire promotion on off the show and send her to the main roster. I just don't see that happening. So I would love for it to be Queen Aminata, but my head says it's going to stay Athena. My heart is with Queen Aminata for this, though, especially with how protected she is by the fact that Athena is so injured. Like, creatively, every instinct to me says Queen Aminata, but knowing that this business deal is looming out there, I go with Athena here.
I gotta agree with you once again. I am going with Athena to retain the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship, because I mean, personally, I just need Athena to put Samoa Joe behind her.
Ooh,
We've been hearing it for weeks on commentary from Ian Riccaboni and Caprice Coleman that Athena has held the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship longer than anybody has held the title in Ring of Honor history, except for Samoa Joe. That 700 day plus reign that he had back in 2004. I think that Athena needs to be that person that finally puts Joe in the rear view and becomes the longest reigning champion, period, in Ring of Honor history. So I'm going to go with Athena to get the win, because I think her bipolar leg will be working on Friday. I think it will be working. Under protest.
That's really the big question mark out here. I know I gave all my reasoning for where I ended up, but it's just a matter of if her bipolar leg is going to be able to function or not. I'm so glad you brought up Ian and Caprice, because, man, just time over time, they show that they're the best commentary duo in wrestling, in my opinion. They're unbelievable. So I adore those guys, and they've done a great job doing right by Athena's reign this entire time. She has felt like the big deal that she should in their storytelling of things. So very cool, but we're going with Athena. Do you think there's any chance that this goes to a non-finish?
I can't, because of her leg injury, I can't see her doing like a 60-minute matchup here. I mean, if they decide to switch it up and say it's a 30-minute time limit draw, that would immediately peep me off and be like, oh, they're going 30 minutes then. Because if they switch it up like that. And I don't want to see a non-finish, like a DQ or a count out on pay-per-view. So
you don't think her leg gives out?
Yeah, maybe her leg gives out and she loses by count out. I don't know. We could see something like that. I just don't see it because of Athena's leg. If Athena was healthy going into this matchup and she had, been working on Ring of Honor television as of late, I could see them going 60 minutes, and that would be a first especially for the women's division. I don't think even in like my life I've seen a women's match to go 30 minutes. I mean, go 60 minutes. I would love to see it. That would be a first that I would love to see, but I don't think it's gonna be this one here, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, if we end up with 10 matches, it probably won't. At 7 matches, I would have said there's a possibility, but interesting. This one actually, I felt this way before, though. Like, I feel like this could go either way. You know what I mean? And it's always gone Athena's way. So learn the lesson, Kate. Athena's never losing.
Never lose, Athena. Never lose. There's a good shout though. Alex Powell saying I could see Thunder Rosa challenging for the belt if Athena were to retain. Yeah, if you're talking about like women on like the AEW roster that can help out with Ring of Honor, Thunder Rosa would really be high up on that list. We see Taya Taya Valkyrie. She's
Yes.
gotten a spot seemingly on AEW TV with her new alliance with Deonna Purrazzo, helping her beat Thunder Rosa in the lumberjack match. Could you see Thunder Rosa coming down and challenging for the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship?
Man, I would love that. I would love that, but I do. Then you have to stay here 8 weeks. You know what I mean? I'm kind of
Yeah.
done with the floating back and forth. But I want to see that matchup, and I want to see those promos for sure. For sure. The stuff she did with Rachel, that promo I thought was excellent. That went maybe one of the best since she's returned that we got out of Thunder Rosa. And I'm personally fine with Thunder Rosa and Deonna beating the hell out of each other for a really long time. Like that pops me. So I'm here for that.
Yeah, I was like, after that finish on Saturday, I was like, oh, let's continuing. We just need Thunder Rosa either get Rachel or somebody else to team up with her to whoop some Taya and Deonna ass. So we'll see. Maybe
Hell
Athena,
yeah.
maybe Athena team up with her. The Texas duo there. We
That's
got
right.
Power Driver. You got Power Driver finisher. It says, so what are we even doing with Athena staying on ROH other than keep her image? I think that Kate's right that if there is any way for Ring of Honor to get involved in this Warner Brothers Discovery deal and be on Max in some way, you got to keep the title on Athena. And then when you do the debut episode on Max, I think that would be the time to then dethrone Athena. Is have her be the champion going in. And then if you want a big title change, a historic title change on your first show on Max, it's Athena losing the title there.
Yeah, I agree with you. If not that first episode shortly after, because that's the biggest thing you could do, and to hand it off to someone is really important. Like to make sure that the right person is holding it and that there's a set plan for them is something that's really cool. You also have to have something clear on the main roster for Athena to come into, like, period, because you cannot throw this all away for how much work she's done and how great the matches have been. So don't just have her come up and face Willow Nightingale for an 87th time. Like, let's do something.
even though this is like the first time in a while where well, outside of Supercard of Honor, like there was like 2 back-to-back shows last year with Death Before Dishonor and Final Battle where I was convinced Athena's losing. Athena's gonna lose to Willow in the main event of Death Before Dishonor last year. Athena's gonna lose to Billie Starkz in the main event of Final Battle last year, and she won each time. So I stopped voting against our minion overlord.
That's it.
Like, yeah,
I really thought the Billie
win.
won even more than Willow. I was like confident Billie was going to go over. So, but they're teamed up, man. They're a unified front.
Unified, and it feels so good. But one last match for us to preview and predict here for the Ring of Honor World Championship is going to be Mark Briscoe defending against a familiar foe. ROH OG Triple Crown champion, former Ring of Honor World Champion, the Undisputed Kingdom's own Roderick Strong. Roddy won a number 1 contenders matchup against Dalton Castle 2 weeks ago on AEW Collision to set this matchup up. But we have been seeing for a number of weeks, for about a month and a half now on AEW television, the conglomeration, the group created and coined by Mark Briscoe, feuding with the Undisputed Kingdom in different type of matches, whether it was all-star trios, all-star 8-mans. We saw a trios matchup on Rampage last week. But Roddy has gotten the better of Mark Briscoe on a couple of occasions, and he even picked up a huge victory against another former Ring of Honor champion in Tomohiro Ishii on Collision last week. What do you think about the matchup here, how they built to this one, and who do you think walks out with the richest prize in Ring of Honor on Friday?
There is, from a creative standpoint, who could possibly care, right? Like, this is just not... There's no story here. Both of these guys are doing stuff on the AEW main roster. Mark Briscoe has not been around. He's cut one promo over the past like 5 months. Like, this is just, it has not been good. Roddy beat Dalton Castle out of nowhere for no reason for this. Like, this is just, from a creative standpoint, completely like unsatisfying. From an in-ring standpoint, they're going to beat the hell out of each other. This is going to be a lot of fun. I think there's a possibility. I'm gonna go maybe against the grain of what some people are thinking, and I'm gonna say Roddy wins, and we have an Undisputed Kingdom trio that has gold in ROH, and it's very transitional, hopefully to like MXM and then somebody else and the world title picture. Because like Mark Briscoe's doing blood and guts. Like he is very, very highly profiled on AEW. Roddy's been doing very consistent work, extremely reliable, underrated, even though people are taking note. So I'm gonna say that Roddy walks out champion, but it's just by the end of these tapings, he probably loses it, just so that you can have the Undisputed Kingdom has gold moment, and then maybe they break up that entire faction as it goes. But I think neither option makes sense, so why not? Let's do a fun title change and then have that flip over.
I mean, I would not mind that at all because it is seeming more and more like they want to use Mark Briscoe on AEW TV more because they made the conglomeration, which was pretty much just a conglomeration, into the official stable with him, Kyle O'Reilly, Orange Cassidy, and Tomohiro Ishii. I think that was on last Friday's Rampage. And then they've been making saves for one another, been teaming up with one another. You got Mark Briscoe in Blood and Guts this week. And yeah, it would make a lot of sense kind of story-wise as well. Mark Briscoe 2 days after Blood and Guts, then dropping the Ring of Honor World Championship, that he got distracted with the war between AEW and the Elite, that it distracted him from defending what was really something that he worked his whole career to get, the Ring of Honor World Championship. And Roddy Strong, took advantage. And it fits with Roddy's character, who took advantage of all the injuries and the long title reigns of Orange Cassidy to win the International Championship. He does the same thing to Mark with the ROH World Championship. But I can't go against my guy Mark Briscoe because I got a little salt in my beard, and I'm gonna say Mark Briscoe gonna retain. He got 57 kids, and he gotta look out for them. He gotta pay them bills and be on ROH TV. He gonna be on ROH TV. He gonna be on Collision. He gonna be on Rampage. He gonna be on Dynamite. He gonna do his damn thing.
You gotta go to the pay window when you have 57 kids. And it's an honor to join Mark Briscoe here on the True Heel Heat, because that impression is phenomenal. Phenomenal stuff.
Try my best. I practice in the mirror at night. But I am going with Mark Briscoe to retain. I think you can't have him drop it this soon after Supercard of Honor with his emotional moment that he had there. I don't think you can't do it this soon, him dropping the title, even though, like I said, it would make a lot of sense with your prediction after him going through Blood and Guts to lose the championship here. But I think that match is going to be great. I think this card is going to be great. And that's why I want to thank Kate for coming on here and joining me to preview and give predictions for the card. Kate, you are always busy. You are a professional podcaster extraordinaire. So I want to give you the floor to let everyone know where they can follow you as well as where they can see you next. Here is the spotlight.
Oh, thank you so much. And thank you for sticking with me through all my weird tech stuff with StreamYard. But you can find me at Miss Kate Fabe on social media. You can catch me on Fightful every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday doing your NXT ROH with this fella. We do our ROH post show over there. Friday doing the SmackDown review. Wednesdays, I'm at the Mark Order talking all things All Elite. And Fightful Select on Mondays doing the Raw Sour Graps post show. But you can also catch me at Excite Wrestling on commentary. We got Dijak coming in for the next set of shows, so you can feast your eyes to the sound of my voice. But Dijak also doing an awesome interview on this channel, so check that out. But at Miss Kayfabe, you can't escape it. If you follow me there, you'll see all my busy stuff. So
absolutely, the busiest person in professional podcasting extraordinaire. That's why I do the show on Thursdays with her. I learned so much. But you can follow me right here on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSP3. And yes, I choose honor over death. And check out the patreon.com/TrueHillHeat. $3 a month to get you exclusive content. That's the best place to support us when we are not live here. And check out all the great content we got here on the channel, like Rated Raw review from yesterday. We got our TNA Slammiversary review we did earlier this week. But I will be back here live tomorrow, 1:05 p.m. Eastern time, with AE Ramble with Jimmy Macaram, as Joel Pearl has called it, the sour graps of AEW. Me and Jimmy talking about AEW Dynamite. Come on over and check us out tomorrow. We want to thank everyone who joined us live in the chat for interacting with all of us. Remember to drop the thumbs up, comment down below with your predictions to ROH Death Before Dishonor. And of course, go to Honor Club, subscribe, and check out the show this Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The main card will begin for Death Before Dishonor. And I believe myself will be on the Fightful post show over there on the Fightful main channel on Friday to review it all. So join me over there as well. But for Kate, it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been our Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor 2024 preview. We are signing off until next time.